I want to remind you that for this class, you're going to need loose, flexible clothing, okay, a breathable top, breathable bottoms, and some good tennis shoes, all right? By this point in the class, I'm sure you've taken the time out to go and figure out what pairs of shoes work really well for your body, as well as what clothing suits your body best when doing the exercises that we're going to engage in today. Be sure to wear those same types of clothing for every class so that you're not doing a lot of adjusting while you're doing the exercises, and that you feel comfortable each time. If you find that your clothes become ill-fitting because you are toning and slimming in certain areas, then do your best to replace them and change them out so that you continuously work within the limits of work out in the clothes that work well with your body. The same thing applies with your shoes. Just a heads up, when you're working out on a continuous basis, if you're running quite a bit or running more than you used to, walking more than you used to, then please know that you're going to need to change out your equipment on a pretty frequent basis. Typically, we say about every 6 months you should be changing your shoes if you're a runner, an avid runner. I mean, at least 3 times a week, at least, 5 to 7 miles a week. That's a good rate at which you should be changing out your shoes because they do become worn quite easily. And you'll find that your body will tell you when you've worn out your shoes. So if you find that you're getting some extensive pain in your knees, your hips, your running joints or your walking joints, especially like shin splints or ankles feeling a little bit tense or sore, that's usually a good indicator that it's time to change your shoes out, okay? Also make sure you wear great socks with your shoes. And if inserts are recommended when you go to get sized for your shoes, please take them up on that offer because inserts sometimes give you the additional support that you need for your specific type of feet so that you can be successful in every part of your fitness journey. Be sure to follow us on our Instagram page and our YouTube channel, UMBC Rec. We would love to hear from you and address any comments or concerns that you have. Be sure that you are also consulting with your physician. So if during this fitness journey you find that there is any stinging, tingling, or burning with anything that you do, please consult your physician, make them aware, and then get that situation checked out and be fully clear to return back to your fitness journey when it is best for your body. When you are starting out on your fitness journey, do know that your muscles will be stretched in a certain way that will cause you to feel some difference. That difference should not be a consistent and continuous pain. So when I suggest that if you have stinging, tingling, or burning, I want to be clear that stinging, tingling, or burning should be a sensation that you feel on a consistent basis, even well after the exercise is over. If you're feeling that, then definitely consult your physician. But also know when you try an exercise for the first time and your muscles are just becoming acclimated to that exercise, then you might also feel a stretching of that muscle. And as a result of that stretching of that muscle, you may feel a mild stinging, tingling, or if you're really working out that muscle, like in squats or in lunges, you will feel a little bit of a burn. Again, those symptoms should not be continuous, meaning once you stop that exercise, they should immediately stop. But if you're continuously feeling those symptoms well after the exercise is done, then definitely consult your physician. All right, we're going to get started today, but we're going to start it a little bit differently. Today we're going to talk about, in addition to stretching and flexibility, which we talked about before, we want to talk about balance. So on your fitness journey, there are different phases that you're going to go through. So we've talked about the cardio phase, okay? Cardio or ADL, activities of daily living, definitely should be something you're doing on a daily basis. You should be moving every single day at every chance you get, okay? Especially if you have a desk job where you're sitting at your computer for a continuous amount of time, It's not good for your eyes. It's not good for your body. So make sure that you're getting up and moving around for at least 5 minutes of every hour. So we talked about that, ADL, activities of daily living, moving more. Then we talked about our strength component, okay? So we kind of worked a little bit in the strength component with our own body weight. We started out with some wall push-ups, then we did some floor push-ups, some squats, both on the wall, and then free squats. We also did some lunges, okay? Great stuff, all right? We then worked on stretching, so making those muscles long and lean and introducing those muscles to the journey, all right? Some of them we might have overlooked because of the exercise that we're doing. Well, now we're going to talk about balance. And we've kind of been talking about balance from the very beginning. Now, when you think about balance, you think about work-life balance. You think about maybe just the simple things of balancing on one foot. Or if you think about weights, or if you're weighing your food or anything of that nature, you think of that sort of balance as well. Well, there's balance in fitness as well. So balance in fitness, okay, is a way for you to make sure that you're creating stability, another word we're going to talk about, on both sides of your body. So if I were to divide my body in half, as I mentioned before, whatever I do on the right side, I want to also duplicate that on the left side. If I were to divide my body in half from the waist up as well as from the waist down, then I want to balance and make sure that the way, or as much as I'm working out the top side of my body, I also want to work out the bottom side of my body, okay? If I were to divide my body in half from the front, okay, and then the back, anterior and posterior, then I want to work out just as much of the front as I do the back and vice versa. So when we talk about balance, we want to know that it is the ability to maintain the body's position over its base of support. So our base of support would be our feet, and we want to be sure that we want to keep that support within its stability limits. So an example of that would be, and you can try it with me, is we are going to stand in our good posture pose. So remember we talked about good posture, arms at our sides, okay? Feet are at least hip distance apart, all right? And that's our base of support for this exercise. Shoulders are down, head is up, chin is hovering over the chest. We're looking forward. Now for this exercise, what I'd like to do is I'd want to open up my arms as if I'm going to fly like a bird. So make sure you have enough range of motion on both sides of your body to do this. When I open up my arms, they should be shoulder height. And once they are shoulder height, what I'm going to do is I am going to pretend that I'm picking up something off of the ground and extend one leg behind me. Now I'm going to step a little bit closer to you so you can see me a little bit easier, but do know that the little piece of me might be cut off with my camera. So, arms are out to the side. I am maintaining my good posture, or starting off with my good posture. Even my fingers, remember, they open up. Open up your fingers, stretch them out as well. And I'm going to start by looking forward. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right leg and I'm going to gently lift it off of the floor. And when I start to do that, my body weight is going to shift to the left. Therefore, that stability, my body knows something is going to happen with this right leg, so I need to be more stable on my left. All right? I'm going to lift up my right leg, slowly slide it behind me. Okay? Now, this exercise, bringing my foot here, and for some of us, may be just enough or more than enough. Holding this position, you might feel wiggly, wobbly. You might feel completely unstable. And that's okay. That means that this is where you should stop for this exercise. However, if you're feeling stable enough to lift your foot up a little bit higher, then you're going to find that your left leg is now going to produce a little bit of a bend in the knee. It is not going to continue to remain straight. And your feet is going to, or your ankle is going to become wobbly as well because it's trying to find its balance. Now, you should be breathing here as well because breathing has a lot to do with balance and limiting your range of motion, another term we'll talk about shortly. Now, if you find your leg here is just enough for you in your balance exercise, then stop. But if you would like to challenge yourself just a little bit more, and if it's safe for you, then I want you to try this. I want you to gently and slowly, while you exhale, a little bit at a time, lift your leg up a little bit more until your body becomes parallel. The top half of your body becomes parallel with the floor, and your leg becomes parallel with the floor as well. Okay? Look down. Now inhale and come on up. Okay? Now I'm going to try to show you that from the front side of my body, but I'm going to have to come closer to you. And coming closer to you, you might miss certain perspectives of this exercise. So we're going to try it again. But this time, I'm going to face you. And this time, I'm going to lift my left leg instead of my right leg, doing the same exact thing, okay? Now, some key points to this is you have to start with a focal point, all right? So with our good posture, we're always looking forward. Belly button is pulled in. Legs are underneath the hips. Arms are stretched out. You might even feel that your arm muscles feel a little bit tense after bringing them down after that little start of that exercise. And this is what I mean by our muscles are always engaging. When we call on them, they tend to respond if we call on them. So we have to call on them because every part of the body needs to help out in everything that we do. It's a team effort. So with that being said, I'm going to do this exercise again. I want you to do it with me as well. We are going to practice balance because we're not only balancing on one leg and creating that stability with our legs, all right? But we're also balancing our body because we've done that exercise on the right side, and now we need to do it on the left side, all right? So facing you, I'm going to do the same exact thing. Sorry, got to make sure I have enough space. All right, arms out to the side, all right? I am looking forward. Notice my chin is not to my chest, but I'm looking forward and my chin is up and parallel to the floor. I have my stability in my legs because my feet are hip distance apart, all right? And now my arms at shoulder height, my palms are open, my wrists are not flexed, but they're out to the side because my fingertips need to be lengthened and long as well while I do this. Now I want you to notice something when I start to lift my leg, okay? My left leg is what we're doing here. I want you to do it with me. And I start to slide it towards the back. Notice, again, my shift to the side of the leg that is going to remain on the floor. So that's almost computerized in your body. Your body knows, hey, something is happening with me right now, and I'm going to need to take the weight off of my left side. So my brain is telling my right side, hey, get ready because we're getting ready to do something significant. Take your left leg and start to slide it towards the back. Now, when your body starts to shift to the right, I don't want you to stick your hip out. I don't want you to bend forward and start flying, okay? I want you to stay flat-footed on that right leg. So remember I said, if your toes are down here and you feel good and comfortable, and this is enough for you and your body at this point because your belly button is pulled in and also engaged, your glutes are squeezed and contracted, then this is perfectly fine. But if you would like to try and to extend your body just a little bit further, then what you want to do is you want to start to hinge at the hip. So remember we talked about hinging in our warm-up exercises. And we're starting to lift the leg. Now, this is where a little bit of a bend in the right knee comes in, okay? The foot, the leg that is on the floor, that's where it starts to find its stability. It starts to bend a little bit in the knee. The ankle starts to wobble because it's trying to find its balance. The feet are flat, but your toes may curl in your shoes because it's trying to grip the floor, all right? And that's one reason why in mind-body exercises such as yoga and Pilates, they typically ask you to remove your shoes because that helps with the stability when you're doing your balance exercises or mind-body exercises. All right, now let's fully extend, okay? Hinging more at the hip, lifting more of the leg, getting that body parallel with the floor. Breathing, lift the leg, and inhale, come down, and drop your arms, okay? So take your breather, grab some water, settle your mind, and know that that is one thing that you can practice on your own. So that's balance, all right? A little bit of a balance. We'll go over some other examples shortly. Now we want to talk about stability. So you heard me say that word already. You heard me say when we had the weight shift from the side that was doing the lifting to the side that was remaining static and on the floor. And I said, oh, the body's creating stability, okay, by keeping that one leg on the floor and providing extra support for your base. All right, that's what that pretty much is. Stability is pretty much creating that support for your base. So whenever the leg, the opposite leg would lift, all right, the body joint posture that represents the resistance to the change of position would create that. That's the stability. So that's what happens with that static leg. So let's just practice that for a second. Arms are going to come down for this. So, and it's just a little lift. Take that left leg. Actually, let's start with the right leg. Keep the left leg on the floor and take that right leg back a little bit. Again, notice the weight shifts to the left side. There's a little bend in the knee. The ankle becomes wobbly, tries to stabilize itself. The feet, okay, become flat, maybe a little bit wobbly, but the toes begin to grip, all right, and try to find a place of more comfort and balance, all right? And what we're doing here is we're limiting that base of support. We did the same thing when we did our push-ups on the wall, okay? So before we do that, let's balance on the other side. Same thing is going to happen on the other side. But you might find that if you're a right-handed person, that you have more stability on the left. If you're a left-handed person, you might find you might have more stability on the right. If you're ambidextrous, then you might find you have equal amounts of balance on both sides. The goal is, if you're a right-handed dominant, you need to always build the left side, the left side, and if you're left-handed dominant, you need to also build the right side. So again, balance, all right, stability, all right. So let me show you. Come with me on the wall. Place your hands on the wall. Step back until your arms are fully extended. Spread your fingers wide. And now bring your right hand behind your left. The same thing happens with our body. My right leg came up behind my left. My whole body shifted most of its weight to the left side. And it's providing a base of support based on having only one leg on the floor. Now let's do some push-ups on the wall. Go ahead and lower your chest to the wall and push back. All right? You'll notice that you have to kind of, when you come back off of the wall, when you've pushed off the wall, your belly button tightens and it comes tighter towards your spine. Your glutes tighten a little bit. Okay? Everything is working just a little bit harder because we realize, or the body realizes, that we're only working with one side. Let's do 3 more. And 2. And 1 more. Very good. Now let's switch sides. Start in your good starting posture position. Now bring the left leg behind the right. Hands still on the wall at shoulder height. Fingers spread wide. Notice the shift of weight to the right side. And let's lower. Don't forget to breathe. Okay? Let's do 2 more. And let's do 1 more. Now, notice our position on the wall. We are not opening up the hips, okay, to face in the opposite direction, all right? We are not opening ourselves up. Now, we could do that if we were stretching, but when we're doing a strength exercise, when we're doing a cardio exercise, balance exercise, we want to make sure that we remain in alignment. And if our hip is open and facing a different direction, then we're not in alignment. All right, another thing we want to talk about is range of motion, okay? So range of motion is such an important word in exercise. It is the ability to only go as far as your body will let you. That's a simplified version or definition of the term. And what that basically means, or to show you an example, It's as if you were turning to grab something that was beside you, you would not want to completely turn your body around to get that object. You might see that, for example, owls, the bird, typically give the illusion that when they want to see behind them because of all their feathers, they have turned their head completely around. So they may have a larger degree of motion or range of motion than we do, of course, right? But with the lengthening of the muscles in your body, you may find over time that you have more of a range of motion than you ever did before. And that's fine. But be sure that you're not stretching yourself so far to the point that you've taken that muscle and extended it far beyond its point of natural range. So what I mean by that is sometimes we can get so extended, so stretchy, like a rubber band, right? Think of a rubber band. Your muscles are like a rubber band. And if you use that rubber band enough and you keep stretching it and stretching it and stretching it, eventually it loses its form. And when muscles start to lose their form, they don't grip the bone or the tendon like they should. Okay, so we have a bone, a tendon, and a muscle. And when the muscle doesn't grip to the tendon and the tendon doesn't grip to the bone, then you have some dislocation. And we don't want that. So while stretching is amazing, it's great for your body, and balance is also great for your body, you want to make sure that you're working within your limits. All right? And do know that just because the person next to you can turn completely around doesn't mean that you have to do that too. Everybody has a different range of motion. So let's try it together. If you have your mat handy, please grab it. If you don't worry about it. It's a quick exercise that I want to show you. So what I want you to do is, I want you to come and sit down on your floor, on your mat. Extend your legs out in front of you, okay? Sit up as nice and tall as you can and look forward, okay? So this is our seated posture, our good posture, seated. Arms are down by our sides. We're not rounding at the upper back or at the shoulders, but we're pulling our belly button in. We're sitting nice and firm on our sit bones, okay? Our sit bones, that's what we feel when we sit down in a chair, all right? Those are the bones that pull on the glute muscles to have us sit nice and stable in the chair. It's what makes us look like we're sitting nice and upright in a chair as well. If you didn't use your sit bones, or if you didn't call on the muscles around the sit bones to help you sit down, then you would sit more like this, or you'd sit more like this, or you'd find that you have a certain pain in that area. Again, things that you should refer or relay to your physician so that you can get more advice on that. But if you find that when you're sitting, you do not have a good posture, you're not looking forward, you're not sitting on your sit bones, then it could be something physical and internally physical that you need to talk to your physician about. Back to the range of motion. Sitting down on your floor, your mat, with your legs stretched out in front of you, your toes are up and pointing towards the ceiling, your heels are down, okay? What we're going to do is we are going to bring our arms bent at the elbows to chest height. Now, when you do this, make sure, again, you're not lopsided. One shoulder doesn't come up, one ear doesn't go down, but give that nice range of motion. It's also helpful if you work out in a room with a mirror, or you have a mirror that you can bring to the area where you're working out. Because when you can see yourself, then you can sometimes have an aha moment and say, that's right, I need to work on that. And that's good to assess yourself, right? All right, so range of motion here. I want you to take a breath in. Now, as you exhale, I want you to turn your body to the right. When you're done exhaling, stop. That is your range of motion, okay? Where I have stopped is how far I can go before I change the stability of my starting position and often come out of my good posture. And I'm going to come back to the front. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to take a breath, and I'm going to exhale. Okay? And come back. This is as far as my body will allow me to go when I'm in this position. Now, if you find when you did this exercise, you inhale and you exhale, and this is where you stopped, that is perfectly fine. That is your range of motion. And it is set to your particular body, and we want to respect that range of motion. Now let's try the other side. If this was your range, that's great. That's where you would stay. Now, take a breather for a second. Let me explain a couple of things. This particular exercise is a Pilates-based balance exercise, or it's the range of motion exercise. I want you to, for the next set, look at your feet. If you find that your feet pass each other and only one toe is sticking up towards the ceiling but the other toe is pointed away from you, then I want you to come back to the center where you started and start it again. Start the exercise again. So for example, if I'm doing my range of motion exercise, I inhale and I exhale and I look back at my feet and they're not together, then I'm going to come back to the center and I'm going to do the opposite side first, so we keep that balance, doing the same thing on both sides of the body. I'm going to do that first, that opposite side first, and this time try to keep my feet together. If my feet are together, I'm in good state. Okay? All right? So we're going to do it again. Make sure your feet, your toes, do not pass each other. Also, be sure that you're pulling in your belly button and you're not changing your posture and becoming more slouched the more that we do this exercise. So again, another example of we're not doing a whole bunch of heavy breathing, a whole bunch of heavy movement, but our body, our muscles are being used, they're being stretched, they're being extended and lengthened and contracted, and they're working, all right? But you're not causing a huge sweat, but you're still getting a workout, all right? All right, arms, shoulder height, close to the body, bend to the elbow, feet together. They're not going to pass each other. You're going to inhale. Now exhale. Good. Inhale back to the center. Now to the other side. Inhale. Exhale. And come back to the center. Do it again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, back to the front. And other side. Inhale. Exhale. And back to the front. Good. Another exercise that I would love for you to practice, go ahead and bring your legs in to a crisscross applesauce, because your hips might be talking to you and telling you, we've been sitting in this nice upright position for a very long time. All right, so we've talked about balance, we've talked about stability, and we've talked about range of motion. Now we're going to put all three of them together in an exercise that we're going to try on the floor. So again, if you have your beach towel that you're using as a mat, great, grab it, keep it. If you have your mat, grab it and keep it. If you don't have a mat or a beach towel to use for the moment, but you're comfortable without either doing this next exercise, on which we will be on our hands and our knees, then just jump in with us. Otherwise, if you need to go grab it and come right back. All right, so let's put all three of those together, okay? Our stability, our balance, our range of motion, and we're going to come down onto our mat. Our hands are going to be flat, palm side down. Our knees are going to be underneath our hips. Our toes are going to be tucked. Okay? You're going to have a nice, firm, flat back because your spine is going to be nice and long. Your feet are going to be hip distance apart, which are going to be knee distance apart, because your ankles, you will not be able to see them when you look between your knees. Okay? Fingers are going to be spread wide. And what we're going to do first is we're going to do something called a cat-dog, okay? So what typically happens, a bird dog. A cat dog would be something a little bit different. We're going to do a bird dog. So I want you to know that we're going to use something called a contralateral movement. We're going to take the top half of our body and using our right side of the body and hold it in that position while the left side of our body does something different. So stay where you are. Think of an X, all right? And when we think of an X, we think of this arm moving all on its own. But instead, from my fingertips down to mid part of my forearm is going to do a movement. And then for my left arm, the one with the wiggling fingers, from my mid forearm down to my elbow, that part of my body is going to do another movement. So that's what I mean by contralateral, okay? Opposite sides of the body are going to move at the same time, doing two almost different things, okay? And in that, we're going to hold on to our stability throughout our hips, throughout our waist. We are then going to change the degree at which we're moving the body with our range of motion. And we're also going to balance because we're only going to be concentrating or depending on one side of the body while the other side of the body does something different. So let's practice that. So you're in your position here. Take your right arm and lift it. Okay? Now your palm is facing the inside of your body. Fingers are still extended. Your thumb is up, your pinky finger is down. Notice that you might feel a little bit more of a strain on the left arm, okay? Because it now doesn't have two arms to depend on. Now we're going to take the left leg and we're going to slide it back, okay? This is our contralateral movement. Now, I do not want you to, again, open up the hips and tilt to one side, okay? I want you to keep your hips nice and square. Square meaning that the front of your pelvis should still be parallel with the mat. Now, I want you to lift the leg, okay? Do not flex the ankle, but keep your toes down and hold this position. You find that your belly is going to be extended. Your abdominals are going to stretch and lengthen, and your belly button is going to be pulled tight towards your spine. You might find yourself a little bit wobbly. Bring yourself in and go back to restart and breathe, okay? Just breathe. Now, we're going to do the opposite side. Same thing or similar thing to the opposite side. And when I say same or similar to the opposite side, it means that it's going to be the same order, but not exactly the same thing because we're using a left arm and now the right leg. So, extend your left arm. Hold it there. Okay? Get in tune with your body. Keep your head down. Look at your mat. But do not drop your chin to the point where you have a rounding in the back of your neck or rounding in your up in your shoulders. Okay? Now, extend the right leg. You can start with the toes down. Lift the leg. Keep the toes down. All right? And hold it. Breathe. Do not open up the hips and tilt to the side, but keep this left hip over the knee as much as possible, and then bring it in and rest. Okay? Let's try that one more time. We're going to do the same thing. Right side, then left side. Okay? All right, here we go. So, it helps when you take a breath. Inhale, lift the arm. Exhale when you lift the arm. Let's inhale again. Extend the leg. Breathe and concentrate. Think on good things. I know it may feel wobbly and it may hurt a little bit and you're feeling a little unstable and this is new or maybe something that is renewed to your mind and to your body, but you can do this. For 3, 2, 1, bring it in. Okay? And let's do the same thing to the opposite side. Please make sure, as another sidebar, that you are not gripping the mat with your fingernails. Your palm must be on the mat. Okay? All right, other side. Inhale, exhale, and leg, lift, and hold, and breathe. Okay, hold on to it. Make sure your toes have not passed the center point of your body, the toes of the foot that is on the mat. Your ankle is still in line with your knee. 3, 2, 1, and bring it down. Good job. And you can sit back on your heels if that's how you find comfort and rest in your body, or you can sit completely down on your bottom. Okay, so from this point forward, let's review all that we talked about today. Balance, stability, and range of motion. Now we're going to practice all 3 again from the top. We're going to do our standing with our arms out. So remember that, our one-legged leg extension. We're then going to do some of the push-ups on the wall. We're going to come down and do our seated twist. We're also going to come down and we're going to do our bird dog. Okay? And then we're going to stretch. And then we'll be done for today. Okay? So let's start from the top. Come to standing. Make sure you have nothing in your way to hinder you. Take a breath. I hope you grab some water. Okay? Make sure you have enough space from your wall out so that your arms can be fully extended. All right? Very good. Okay, so with your feet underneath your hips, all right, we are now going to start off with the right leg, facing forward, arms outstretched, fingers spread wide, palm is down. We are going to inhale, and we're going to start extending our leg. Right leg, toes down first. Remember, this is an option, so don't bypass this option if you need it. Now, as we exhale, I want you to lift up your leg. Create a little bit of a bend in the knee of the opposite leg. Create a focal point. Gently and carefully come down if you choose to. Otherwise, you're holding the position we started with. And now come on up. Okay, let's do the other side. Back to our start position. And inhale. And as we exhale, let's start. Hold it here. And if you wish to continue to lift. And make sure you're parallel with the floor. And come on up. Good. We're going to do that again, okay? And I'm going to turn so you can see more of my feet. All right, right leg first. Inhale. Exhale. Stopping wherever it's best for your body. And come on up. Other side. Inhale. Exhale. And come on up. And arms come down. We're going to do it again. One more set. All right, I'm going to face you for this set. All right, inhale. And exhale. And come down. Other side. Inhale. And exhale. and come down. Let's do that one more time. One more time. Inhale and exhale. And come down. And other side, inhale, exhale. And down. Very nice. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go to that push-up on the wall. Hands on the wall. Arms extended back. Okay? And bring one leg behind the other. Okay? And let's try to do 10. Okay? Here we go. 10 on the right side. And then you'll hear me say switch it and we'll do 10 on the left side. In 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's do the other side. All right, here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Uncross the legs, and we're going to restart. We're going to do it again. First with the right side, then with the left. Keep your hands at shoulder height. And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And switching sides. Okay? Make sure the foot that's on the floor is about center of your body, okay? And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. All right. Take a little bit of a breather because we're going to do one more set. One more, okay? All right. Hands back on the wall. Starting your good posture position. All right. And then we're going to start with the right leg behind the left. So bring your left leg into center of your body. Right leg behind. Arms extended. And for a 10 count, go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 more, 3, 2, and 1. And uncross the legs and switch. All right, here we go. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Uncross. All right. Now we're going to come down to the mat. So roll your mat out. We're going to come to a seated position. Our legs are going to be extended out in front of us. Remember, we're sitting on our sit bones and our toes are upright. Okay? When you're ready, bring your arms to shoulder height and bend at the elbow. All right, so practicing range of motion. Inhale and exhale. Twist in the core. Inhale, come back to center. All right, don't move those shoulders. Okay, so don't hunch up. Keep them nice and leveled. Inhale, exhale. Keep the feet together and come back. Okay, let's do that again. Inhale, Exhale. And back to the center. And inhale. Exhale. All right, one more set. Remember to twist through the core, okay? Don't lift up to twist, twist through the core. Inhale and twist. Turn your head with it. All right? Stop, breathe, exhale. And where you're going to change or lean back, come back to the center. Don't lean back. Inhale. Exhale. And come back to center. Very good. Now, if you want to practice something extra on your own, you could extend your arms out to the side and do the same thing. Inhale. Exhale. Make sure you have enough room around you, and then come back to the center. Then you could do the other side. And come back to the center. And the goal is, just like you don't want your feet to pass each other when you're doing that twist, you also do not want your arms, okay, to make an L when you twist. All right? So when you twist, you don't want one arm coming in, and then you have, a wide stance with your arms, but instead you want to focus on that core and arms stay out at the sides where they belong. Okay, other side. Okay, not bringing the arm in. Very good. Now let's do our bird dog. So, come to all fours. Palms flat on the mat, fingers spread wide. Knees hip distance apart. Looking down at your mat. Let's start with the left arm. Okay? Inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale. And extend the right leg. You start with the toes down. Then lift. And let's hold for 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the arm down, bring the leg in. Let's do the other side. Okay? Inhale. Exhale. Now the leg. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take a breather, because we're going to do it again. Okay, here we go. Left arm first, inhale, exhale, leg, inhale, exhale, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's switch. Take your time. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, take a breather. Last time, make it great for you, okay? Here we go. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, 10 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bring it down, breathe. Other side, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, 10 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bring it down. Very good. Now let's do our deep breaths, 3 of them, to let our body know we did a good job today. So inhale, exhale, If you don't feel comfortable on your knees, come on down to your bottom and sit. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Good job today. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye now.